From the BBC today, outdoor smoking ban at pubs being considered. PM. Yeah, weird that, innit? Weird. You know one place you are still allowed to smoke tabs at your leisure? On the terrace at the House of Commons. Weird that, innit? Very odd. It's almost like repugnant, overt, aggressive hypocrisy is the order of the day from the collection of rats in suits that govern us. Right, brilliant story this. I just want to put my cards on the table straight away and say I've been, for about 20 years, a proponent of people smoking in pubs. My argument, even though I don't like smoking in pubs, and I don't smoke, and it's quite nice to not have your clothes smell of tabs the morning after when you go out on the lash, but in my eyes, being a libertarian type of chap, and not being German and therefore, believing in queues, right? I believe in queues. I'm English. Have you ever been to a bus stop in Germany? You're minding your own business in a line, and the next thing, a bloke with very sharp elbows marches to the front, shouting something along the lines of, "Ich bin Stompenhaufen." Queuing is not a thing out there, but it is in England, so in my book. The little old man who likes to smoke his pipe while he does the crossword, he was there first, lads. He was there first. I'm not a big fan of it, but I've got this thing called integrity, which means I've always supported voting for things that don't necessarily benefit me if it's the right thing to do. So, all cards on the table. I've had a very libertarian bent regarding this stuff for a long time. As far as I'm concerned, if there were smoking tabs in pubs from the year 1600 to the year 1990, I don't think some overbearing authoritarian do-gooder with the morals of a gambling-addicted kleptomaniac streetwalker and the intelligence of a chicken McNugget should be telling us what we can do with our own lungs. If you want to chain smoke camels, I think that's your right, as long as it doesn't harm anybody else. And ultimately, we all know this is about control. Roy Castle famously died, they think, of passive smoking, because he was always in very crowded clubs full of smoke. I'm not saying that the science isn't there. If you were trapped in a telephone box with a bloke smoking Cuban cigars, I would say that's a very bad thing. And we should ban smoking Cuban cigars in telephone boxes with unwilling smokers stood alongside you. But that's not the case. Strolling briskly past a beer garden or sitting in the vicinity outside of someone who is smoking won't give you lung cancer. It's a minuscule, infinitesimal amount of damage that's going to occur to your lungs. And cancer's one of those weird things that, sometimes you're the healthiest man in the world and you still get it. This isn't about taking care of you. This is about controlling you. It's obvious. It's also about killing the pubs because they hate the fact that rough-handed working-class scum like me have the wrong opinions, and they really hate that we sit in areas like old boozers and drink pints and smoke tabs and talk about things like, I don't know, how Jess Phillips has got a wonky face and has got a set of teeth worse than you'd see on a witch doctor's necklace, or that Diane Abbott has somehow been in a position of authority when she can't tie her own shoelaces and couldn't be trusted to run you a bath. That's why they hate smoking. It's a big, long game. They hate drinking. That's why they've put tax up on booze every year for the last 20. It's always the things you like. Boozing, smoking, gambling, socialising in taverns where you can talk shit about the absolute scum that run the world. They don't like any of that. As Edgar Friendly said, I've seen the future. It's a 40-year-old virgin sitting in his pyjamas in his mum's basement. That's what they're like. And I've been telling you about this since 10 years before I had a YouTube channel. These people are power mad and obsessed with control. That's ultimately what the smoking ban's about. But rant over, let's read the story, shall we? Outdoor smoking ban at pubs being considered. Sir Keir Starmer, KSO, MBE, DC, whatever ludicrous unearned titles he's got behind his name, has confirmed that the government is looking at tougher rules on outdoor smoking to reduce the number of preventable deaths linked to tobacco use. To reduce the number of preventable deaths. That's the only reason they're doing it. It's the only reason they're doing it. The government really, really cares about preventable deaths. Yeah. That's why, even though they know the crime statistics and they know that young fighting age men are more likely to commit horrific acts of wanton destruction and murder and death That's why they allow 50,000 of them to move in to your neighbourhoods every year, unvetted, with communicable diseases occasionally, and from the worst parts of the planet. Because they care about your health. Yeah, that's why they're doing it. I don't want to sound controversial, before some woke activist chirps up in the chat, but is that not a logical thing to say? Might I suggest that walking briskly through a beer garden past a couple of smokers is slightly better for your health and less dangerous than going to a pop concert with a wife and kids, and all of a sudden a young criminal Libyan regular at Allen's marvellous snack bar runs in with pockets full of rat poison and a hissing backpack. I'm just putting it out there. If I had to choose between standing next to a young Libyan man with a hissing backpack or briskly walking past a bloke who was having a tab outside a nightclub, I'll pick the latter, thanks. According to reports that smoking could soon be banned in some outdoor spaces in England, the Prime Minister said we've got to take action to reduce the burden on the NHS. Also, that's why they're doing it. Well, alright then, why don't you ban booze, cakes, pies, ice cream and joy? Yeah, fun. Shagging. Ooh, that causes diseases. Gotta go to the NHS. If you get a disease, ban that. Ban that. Let's just have it so you spend the rest of your life, as I keep telling you is what's going to happen, how long have I been saying it, locked in a one-bedroom council apartment in an all-grey suit, doing whatever work you get given, eating the cricket paste, drinking rain, and wanking yourself silly. That's how you're going to live your life under the globalist authoritarian psychopaths. And I've told you, I knew it was coming, and I honestly, at this point, being a miserable bugger, feel like it's completely inevitable. But what did I tell you was going to happen? This is all part of the plan. Reduce the burden on the NHS. Walking, that's quite dangerous. I bet people get ran over and stuff when they walk. Ban cars, ban pavements. Just sit in a cupboard, doing work for the government, drinking rain, and being safe. Brilliant. Marvellous idea, Kia. You absolute lunatic. Experts welcomed the plans. Of course the experts did. But the BBC has been told some ministers raised concerns about the impact the ban could have on the hospitality sector. Cause to the scum that lead us, all that matters is coin. A publican in Salisbury said residents who live near his pub would probably not be happy if his punters began smoking and blocking the pathways in the street instead of using his nice comfortable beer garden. Sorry, Tony, you aren't clearly a fascist and should be sent to the gulags immediately, just as soon as we've let out a couple of kiddie diddlers to make room for you. All right? Cheers, mate. Cheers. But the PM stressed the health impact in his message. Tobacco is the UK's single biggest preventable cause of death, killing 2/3 of long-term users and causing 80,000 deaths every year. I'm not reading this anymore. It's all nonsense. It's all lies. It's all propaganda. You know for a fact that one is. I'll let Mr. Williams get this one for me.
Bullshit, Mr. Handman.
One of my favourites. That is BS, Mr. Handman. I can't believe anyone would be stupid enough to believe that. Smoking's the leading cause of death. Ooh, it kills 80,000 people a year. Well, it just happens that the Bootneck reads the BBC every day, and unlike the people that run the world, he hasn't got the memory of a drunk goldfish. From the BBC in 2021, obesity bigger killer than smoking in England and Scotland. Whoops-a-daisy, what have I done there? I've used the BBC to prove the BBC wrong. How strange. It's almost like they lie for a living and shield nonsense with surprising aplomb. Weird that. Yeah, 60% of the UK is now obese. And the government's having a cry because old blokes want to do the crossword and have a tab outside the boozer. It's laughable. It's ludicrous. It's all part of the plan. You know it and I know it. They will stomp on your windpipe and take everything from you. Right? I can't put it no more clearly than that. If you're not very, very angry, you should be. Yeah, that's why I'm called the Angry Bootneck. The tolerant, reasonable, happy Bootneck just doesn't roll off the tongue as well anyway, does it? But that's just my opinion. If you think that's all complete nonsense, and the government's definitely got your well-being at heart, despite the fact they let the fast food companies feed you poison because they get money off it, and they let in 100,000 unvetted fighting age men every year, and they don't care if some of them blow up little girls like Safi or cut Emily Jones's throat or groom 50,000 children and torture them and fold them up and roger them above kebab shops up and down the country with impunity while the government does nothing about it. If you think I'm totally wrong and they definitely care about your health and safety, you let me know in the comments so we can all point and laugh. All right? Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget, tomorrow I'll be doing a live stream at 7 o'clock, 1900 UK time. Be there or be square. It'll be fun. We can go through the crazy events of the week. You can throw some stories at me and I will swear and point out the painfully obvious about them. All right? Thanks for tuning in. See you all tomorrow. Have a great weekend if I don't see you then. And keep your chins up because you're going to need to. All right? Thanks for tuning in. Toodle pip. Cheers.